Obviously, like, you're going to have your bad games, but, like, once you got your rhythm, it's gonna be easy, especially, like, if you really are a scorer. Like, you're going to see things differently coming off the pick and roll. They're going to start guarding you differently once you top the first half. Now it's like, okay, now my three open. Like, nah.
My last two Bright Future videos featured the Orlando Magic and Indiana Pacers, two teams that have shown relatively solid improvement, and those teams have something in common with the Houston Rockets. And while that similarity is not yet on the win-loss column, it's definitely in the talent department. Despite the lack of success that I'll get into in a second, the Rockets have a group of players that attract any type of fan. You like watching a center with passing creativity? There's 21-year-old 6'9" Alperen Sengun from Turkey. He's been in the league for 2 years now, and he's shown solid improvement throughout that time. He has a good handle that's given us some fun moments to watch, along with great footwork in the post, which makes up for his lack of athleticism. Sengun really is a wizard of a passer, which I would say is his best attribute. He averages 3.9 assists per game, which might not seem like a lot, but when you log nearly 4 assists on a team that really gets into isolation and your turn, my turn possessions, that's pretty impressive. I'm a firm believer in running more offense through Sengun in the middle of the floor, along with more dribble handoffs, similar to what we see from Nikola Jokic and Domantas Sabonis. The problem is, while he has improved his shooting, it still needs more work. There's no doubt that improved shooting will help open his game tremendously, seeing as he really struggles to defend. If you like traditional scoring shooting guards with athleticism and tight handles, Jalen Green is exactly that. 2 years in the league like Sengun, he's very explosive, fearless, and has a ton of confidence in his game. He has some serious potential because of his physical tools, but so far it's been a battle to maintain his overall efficiency. He's definitely improved his shooting mechanics, and he does seem to be reading the defense much better nowadays, which naturally comes with more games played. Defense is something he mentioned wanting to work on in a pre-draft video, and it's a side of the ball that will take his game and the Rockets to the next level. Similar to Jalen in terms of position and scoring mentality, along with the lack of efficiency for now, is Kevin Porter Jr., who many people compare to James Harden because of his shot creation in isolation and his playmaking as a left-handed player. KPJ averages 5.7 assists and, like Jalen, also struggles to defend. It's unclear what his future is going to look like on the Rockets, but no doubt another fun guard to watch on this group. If you like Swiss Army knife guys, that's what Tari Eason's been for the Rockets, a 6'8" forward that literally does a little bit of everything. He dominated Summer League last year, making All Summer League first team, and made the All-Rookie second team last season. You might not be wowed by looking at his basketball reference page, but watching him play gives you an entirely different understanding of how valuable he really is. He has the positional versatility on both ends of the floor, holds his own on defense, being the strong, swift-footed guy that he is at his size. He can shoot the ball at a league average level from 3, which I think will improve as he gets more reps, has more than a solid handle, and can get downhill in transition. He's also a smart off-ball cutter, which is always a plus for a team that really struggles to score the ball. There's also number 3 overall pick last year, Jabari Smith Jr., who really struggled in his summer league stint and continued to struggle with a slow start to his rookie season, but he did find his groove as the season went on. He was mainly used as a 3-and-D spot-up shooter, which in my opinion is how you really hinder a player from developing all facets of their game, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But Jabari is a more than solid defender at his age, with all the tools to be a special two-way player as he continues to improve. Like Tari Eason, he has the positional versatility, doesn't have a selfish style of play, and just a very coachable player. He showed tremendous improvement this second summer league, which is something you like to see out of your second-year players. A guy like Jabari can really struggle to play alongside heavy isolation basketball because he's the type of player that likes to play within a motion offense. And that's something the Houston Rockets will hopefully be adopting come next season. Jabari went from an Auburn situation playing alongside ball-dominant guards that look to score first to a similar Houston Rockets situation alongside Jalen and Kevin Porter Jr. But thanks to his ability to defend, he still finds plenty of ways to impact the game. Another exciting addition to the group is this year's number 4 overall pick, Thompson, who unfortunately suffered an ankle injury right away in Summer League, but will be bringing elite athleticism along with some much-needed playmaking. The question is his shooting ability, but he does get downhill at will, loves to push the pace, great unselfish play style, finding his teammates as often as possible. He has tons of confidence with a good head on his shoulders, according to multiple scouting reports out there, and it's going to be interesting to see him on a team with a lot of guards, but with his size at 6'7", there will be plenty of lineup styles he can be put on. Speaking of exciting rookies, and one that was projected to be a lottery pick and surprisingly fell farther than expected, is Villanova's Cam Whitmore. Talk about a draft steal for the Rockets. This guy not only helped lead the Rockets to the Summer League Finals, he won MVP of Summer League, along with making All Summer League first team. Another guy that's going to bring instant rim pressure, as he loves to get to the basket, very strong and athletic, with plenty of room to grow as a shooter, but a fearless and aggressive, fast-paced style that will fit multiple lineup styles for the Rockets to mix up. The Rockets signed Fred VanVleet to a big payday of 3 years, $128 million. This was a signing that a lot of people aren't too happy about, but this team desperately needs veteran leadership, stability, and guys that can hold the younger players accountable. That's exactly what the VanVleet signing said to me. This was a group with no real vets, very poorly disciplined, that seemingly did nothing well when you check traditional and advanced stats. VanVleet will not only be a veteran presence, but also one that's a champion who's gonna make the offense much more productive, and for his size, he's a solid defender that plays hard, which is something the Rockets also need. Really badly. Really badly. Speaking of veterans and champions, the Houston Rockets signed Jeff Green, one of the great active NBA veterans in the league. He's been the epitome of a journeyman, always finding a way to impact winning. A guy that at 36 years old still amazingly shows his great athleticism from time to time. Jeff is another guy that's not only seen it all, he's incredibly serviceable in any type of lineup because of his size, his ability to get points for himself, play within an offense, spread the floor, and just make the right plays. Just another guy that's going to help establish stability and accountability. Do you like pesky, controversial players that annoy opposing teams and fans, whether that be with comments or style of play? Well, the Rockets have that guy too, and that's Dillon Brooks. Someone who's been pretty disrespected despite people seeming to forget he made second team all-defense last season, becoming more of a meme after his LeBron comments during their playoff series. But Brooks is a guy fans call a dirty player who holds himself above a level he actually plays at, which we call an irrational confidence guy. But make no mistake about what he will bring to this group, which in my opinion is definitely something the Rockets haven't had in quite some time. And that's someone that flat out doesn't give a A lot of successful teams have had that one guy that won't be afraid to start problems with opposing players, make things annoyingly uncomfortable at times, and just really be an exclamation mark role guy that can get under your skin. I think it adds an aggressive personality to a team that really needs to find an identity. A notable signing for the Rockets' big man depth was someone who made a name for himself in just his second year for the Phoenix Suns, and that's Jock Landale. He stood out during the playoffs and looked really good in stretches when DeAndre Ayton was on the bench. He doesn't put up staggering numbers, but really does find ways to be productive with or without the ball. He doesn't play outside of himself, he's a really team-oriented player, and he's pretty mobile at 6'11". Not a great athlete, but doesn't just stand around when he doesn't have the ball. He's one of those guys that's constantly looking for something to do out there, which seems simple, but it's something people complain about with DeAndre Ayton from time to time. Landale makes things happen with the bursts of playing time he gets, so I think this was a very solid low-key signing. So that's a lot of names I gave that at first listen would make you think this team has what it takes to take the next step in their rebuilding timeline. A lot's been done this offseason from a draft and free agent standpoint, and here comes the major reason that you should be optimistic about how the Rockets will look this year compared to last. And that's the new head coach, Ime Udoka. At the moment, the Rockets have looked more like just a group of guys, with each having their own green light, playing more of an AAU style of basketball with seemingly no discipline being shown by the previous coach, Stephen Silas, who's the son of the late legend Paul Silas. With all due respect to Stephen Silas, he took an approach that was far too player first, essentially rolling the balls out and pretty much letting them do whatever they wanted, which brings me back to Ime Udoka, a no-nonsense coach with a strong personality that puts players in their place, comes from that Popovich coaching tree, which always gives someone additional respect in the NBA, but more importantly, he's a coach that showed the results, making the finals in his first year coaching the Celtics, and this to me is the perfect move you want to make if you want to start changing the culture of a team. This is a team that honestly can only go up from where they've been in the last couple of seasons, and I believe with the addition of the new veteran guys along with Ime Udoka, this team should make a decent jump on the win-loss column, and perhaps even surprise people along the way. And despite the lack of success, this is still one of those fun young teams to watch on League Pass, and I recommend you guys give them some time to watch. Thanks for watching this video. This is the All Things Basketball podcast. I'm your host, Vic Lopez, as always, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.